Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Donald Trump is already thinking of the second meeting with Putin. Quickly after the first one. If the first one goes well. This is the first topic of this video. The second one. Mr. Zelensky is in Deutschland über niemals. And while in Berlin, he tells his imbecile counterpart, Mr. Merz, the Chancellor of Germany, that he is ready to discuss with Moscow the territory issue. And they might really accept a freezing of the situation or of the territory on the contact line. Well, that's a plus. That is a step forward. So, did Zelensky change his mind, or they just want to stop it now so they can get some respiro and then come back? Well, we're going to find out. Let's start with the first one. Trump wants a second meeting quickly after the first one. So here it is. According to Sputnik, this is from 4 hours ago, today on the 13th, is it 13th? Yeah, Jesus Christ, 13th of August 2025. Trump hints at quick second meeting with Putin if first goes well. US President Donald Trump told reporters on Wednesday that there is a good chance of a prompt second meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin if the first one goes okay. So this is, you show the carrot over there. Hey, if you're behaving, I'm going to give you another candy. And I'm quoting Donald Trump. There's a very good chance that we're going to have a second meeting with Putin, which will be more productive than the first. Because in the first, I'm going to find out where we are and what we're doing again. Trump said, and I'm quoting, if the first one goes okay, we'll have a quick second one. I would like to do it almost immediately. Very good. Trump emphasized that he views the upcoming meeting with Putin on Friday as, and I'm quoting, setting the table for the second meeting, which could also include Zelensky's time. And I'm quoting, there may be no second meeting because if I feel that it's not appropriate to have it because it didn't get the answers that we have to have, then we're not going to have a second meeting. I mean, sounds logical. The US president also said that a potential meeting between Putin and Zelensky can be organized quickly and he can join it if they'd like to have me there. And of course they want Papa, Daddy, God, Trump over there. So, that's good news. That's good news. If you have that in mind, that's an opening. It's always good to tell the other side, hey, look, if things go okay, we can disagree to certain things, but I want to just feel where you are and see if my questions will be answered. We discuss. That's excellent. Excellent. That means they could have the second one. Would Putin agree to that one? Yes, but you see, we don't hear about anything coming from the Russians. We all hear Trump saying, I'm going to do this, I'm not going to do this, I might do this, I may not do this, like he is in charge. He's not in charge. Just so you know, he's not in charge. He's in charge of his country and his side. Why don't we hear from Putin anything? Well, my friends, I remember when I was reading one of the books that I liked a lot, and that's called Gori no Sho. Let me get it for you. You don't want to see my underwear, do you? Alright, where are you? My goddamn, right here. So this is Gori no Sho. This is a book written by Miyamoto Musashi. 1584, 1645, date of birth and where he died. So this is the book of 5 rings. I loved it so much, so I covered it so it doesn't. So, in this book, they said something at the beginning, and not only that, drew my attention to something very interesting in the Japanese way of negotiation. And I read some books on that. It's not, I mean, if I put everything together, it's like this. Do not, you can say, well, this is obvious, Emil. Well, not that obvious, it wasn't in the 70s and 60s and so on, but now it's obvious. Obviously, don't reveal your positions. You know, I think during a conversation, it's about 12 seconds of silence until someone feels the need to say something, because silence, especially when you interview someone, is a game of psychological game. So you don't ask anything, you don't answer anything, and then after about few seconds, the other side feels the need to react, to say something. It's a way of being, how should I put it, well behaved. You know, we don't want silence to be too long. Therefore, the silence game is played in the war as well as in negotiations, which is also a war, which is you keep quiet. So the Japanese would come at the table, konnichiwa, wakarimasu, pap, talk to you, don't talk too much, and wait. And the guy, a European, who is more, how should I say, dynamic, hey, what's going on, blah, blah, feels that uncomfortable. So he feels the need to expose little by little something. Hey, I came here to talk to you about this issue. Even if he lies, he also says something about something. I came here to discuss this issue. What do you think? I think I would like to do this, but I might not. But you already show certain things. The other side is like not reacting. That means you say, what the fuck is going on here with this guy? What am I supposed to say? And you try to get the guy speaking, and he's not talking too much. That means he's not revealing his position. You are revealing so much only by body language, let alone if you start talking. So this is what Putin has been doing all this time. He's like, and the other guy is like, I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna do, I like this, I don't like, I may, he tries to be, he applies the technique of confusion. But I don't think he's confusing or making anybody confused out there. I think he's confusing himself, because I think he's confused. And the other guy is not saying much. He's saying, yes, we'll meet. Damn, okay, oh, that's a good start, guys. He's talking. So that's the way it is. Have you heard Putin saying anything? Have you heard Putin saying anything about the meeting? I heard Ryabkov, I heard other baboons over there in Russia, but I haven't heard Putin saying anything about the meeting. Nothing, zero, zip it. Why is that? Well, remember, Gorin no Sho, the book of the five rings of Yamamoto Musashi. He said, don't show it. That's why when you see, for instance, Yaido is the art of drawing the sword, the cut is not Kendo. Kendo is the art of the sword, the blade. So then you have Kendo, but Yaido is the art of starting it. The starting it could be only one draw, whose nerves are weaker. And you can watch a lot of Akira Kurosawa movies with 1950s with my favorite Toshiro Mifune, and one of the three that I have. And you're going to see those challenges one-on-one. And then the Americans, the Hollywood picked it up, and they did it with a sling, stay front. They picked it from Akira Kurosawa, the famous Japanese director. Go and read about it if you don't know. If you know, good job. All right, so this is what's going on. This guy says too many things, the other guys don't say shit. Why is that? Not because Trump is in charge. I think something is wrong. Now you can claim, for good reason, well, Emil, you see, Donald Trump really kind of like successful businessman. That's true. That is very true. Well, I'm just telling you what I know about these kind of things, and it seems not kosher to me to be in the, you know what I mean. All right, so that's the first one. The second topic, Russia Today, 13th of August 2025. Kiev, quote-unquote, ready to discuss territory with Moscow, Merz said. Now, this guy showed up in Germany, and obviously these guys have no balls anymore. Since 1945, they're gone. And he had a meeting with Merz. After Merz, he had a conversation with NATO and some European leaders. Just a few, not everybody. We're all equal in Europe, but some of us are more equal than the other ones. And then with Donald Trump. And then maybe with the media. So what probably Donald Trump told him, this is what's going to happen. Zelensky Stein, I'm going to meet that baboon on Friday called Putin, and then we're going to discuss. And Zelensky, this is what's going to happen. You can cry and throw tantrums how much you want. You're out. You have no cards. Okay? Which actually he doesn't have any cards, Zelensky Stein. He's given a card here and there of a baboon card. Puck, puck, puck. Anyway, so I think he's now saying, well, I might discuss. He had to make these statements in Germany, not in Kiev. Pam, pam, pam. And, I'm sorry, pam, pam, pam. All right, so let's see what this guy is saying. Kiev is ready to discuss territorial issues with Moscow. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz said on Wednesday after a video conference with US President Donald Trump and European leaders. The virtual meeting, which involved the leaders of Germany, Finland, France, the UK, Italy, Poland, and the EU, as well as Trump and Ukraine's Vladimir Zelensky, focused on the upcoming summit between Trump and his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin. Where are the other guys in the European Union? Where are they? Oh, they're represented by the EU. Oh, okay, got it. But how about Italy is in EU, France is in EU, Finland, Poland, Germany. They're all in EU. Why were they represented? But let's say the baboons in Romania were not, or the Baltic states, the baboons in Baltic states. Well, Kiev backers in Europe were determined to ensure the security interests of Ukraine and the EU as, quote-unquote, safeguarded in Alaska. Merz told, so the security interests are safeguarded. Merz told journalists, adding that they relied on message to the effect to Trump. The group put forth 5 key points, according to Chancellor. 5, god damn. One of them stated that Kiev is willing to negotiate on territorial issues, but only if the current line of contact is used as the starting point. Where's the line of contact? Trapataka, Maka, Laka. Right there. This is Ukraine, and they think, oh, the Russians can have only this. For now. Nah. It doesn't work that way, baby doll. Legal recognition of Russia's new regions by the Western nations not up for debate. So that means we're gonna say, yeah, for now you can nothing, or we're not gonna talk about this one. But when we rearm these guys, we're gonna get at it again. Let me tell you the Russian answer. Niet. And niet means no. Okay? Just to start with. Do you think these guys are baboons or something? I think that's what they think, man. Other points included a demand for a ceasefire before any framework agreement, that's not going to happen, can be negotiated, as well as robust security guarantees for Kiev. Yes, Russians, the Russian Federation, will guarantee you security from now on. You got that. Good job, Ukraine. You got it. So this is one, and the other one is from Sputnik. Right at the evidence. Ukraine open to territory talks with contact line as starting point. And look at this guy. Now, I'm sorry, my friends, but I hope this doesn't look like my dad. But anyway, let's move on. Ukraine is ready for negotiations. Ukraine is ready for negotiation on territorial issues, but the so-called contact line should be the starting point. Merz said at a joint press. Pop. At the same time, the legal recognition of territories under Russian control is not subject to discussion. Excellent, my friends. Excellent. So what's going to happen? The Russians will say this. Okay, all right, nice. Thank you very much. These are your terms. Now let me give you my terms. You know the 4 ones that are non-negotiable? Everybody going to say, yes, we know them, but come again? Which can you read them for me? And the Russians will say, no NATO in Ukraine, demilitarization of Ukraine, the recognition of the territories we liberated, and the denazification of your ideology in your country. These are the starting point. So, yeah, let's talk about it. This is exactly how things will work. And the Russians did not pull out of Svetlana, you know what I mean, to go and smack these guys around in Ukraine after they were warned, hey, I'm having a little good time here with Svetlana. We enjoy some crystal Mike wine. Okay, and I'm having a little bit of a party. And to come out over there with my tongs to smack you around. And the baboons were playing outside. Give me the little coconut. Yeah, coconut. You gotta flip. And the Russian says, okay, fuck Svetlana. Sorry. Push Svetlana off his cock. And he's got outside. Smack these guys a little bit and say, scatter you motherfuckers. I don't want to see you around. And the Americans said, oh, I'll be the negotiator. Well, I don't want to hear anything. I have problems over there. I got things to do with Svetlana, man. All right, so I think that's the Russians are gonna. They don't want to see these baboons again on their porch. Nothing like that. The Russians will not go back in Svetlana, and then these guys are again at it. But now more than they were before. I mean, this is imbecilic. And I don't think the Russians will play that card. I mean, these imbeciles could present it as such, but the Russians could not preserve their country as big as it is with all its resources intact by being baboons, okay? Anyway, after all, the Europeans, I don't know what the other guys are nowadays. I know what they will become, though. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. Svetlana.